Hello everyone, it's DJ, and of course welcome to another edition of RC Retirement. Today I'm going to talk about the eBenefits website, and if I haven't done that in the past, you're going to hear a little bit about it today. I know I've spoken about it here and there in the past, and certain reasons why you should at least get access to this website. I have jokingly referred to this site as the only good thing the VA has ever done, and today I'm going to show you why this is one of the good things the VA has done. Now, of course, a lot of the audience out here in podcast land and YouTube land, whatever, are retirees. So we don't necessarily, and I include myself in that, we don't have access to iPerms or whatever name is given to the electronic records that are out there that our branch of service used to have. Well, the cool thing with the eBenefits website is you can access your personnel records through this site, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. It's not as convenient as iPerms or the electronic personnel records systems that we had before, but it's not bad. So let me pull that up now and show you. Now, it's, of course, since I've already told you my real name, you're going to see my real name pop up here. So don't be too surprised when you see that. You will need to have already registered for an eBenefits account. If you haven't done that, then you're in a bit of trouble because it will take some time to do that. Now, I first mentioned getting an eBenefits account in my video. This was long ago, like 2 years ago. In my video / podcast, the basics of reserve retirement. And I said, do this while you still have a common access card. And the reason I said to do that was getting a premier level access took minutes rather than what it normally does, which is weeks. And here's why. The Premier Level Access lets you do what I'm about to show you on the screen here. And for those in podcast land, sorry, again, of course, I'm just going to describe it. But on the screen, you have this, of course, consent to monitor like any government website will have. You say you consent to have them spy on you. Big Brother is watching, all of that, of course. And then you have DS Logon. That's what you're actually doing when you apply for an eBenefits account. You're applying for a Defense Self-Service Logon account. So that's what we're doing. So, of course, I've got mine, and I'm going to log into eBenefits using my DS Logon right now. And it will take a few seconds to do that. Blah, blah, blah. Now, while we wait for that to happen, I'll explain what's about to occur here. I'm going to actually just gloss over most of what you see here in eBenefits because I've mentioned it before. eBenefits is a VA portal through which you can manage pretty much everything you do when it comes to interaction with the Veterans Administration. About the only thing that you don't do, as I recently discovered, is active management of existing claims. For some reason, they moved that back to the VA.gov website. I don't know why. And you manage it there, but you can start from eBenefits and then it will take you back to the VA site where you then have to log in one more time using the same login and ID. But we won't worry about all that. Alright, so on the screen here you see the main page, and it's got all kinds of cool stuff. Don't worry about my email address and all that. But you can see across the top here we've got apply, manage, learn, national resource directory, and all kinds of other cool stuff. Well, what I'm worried about today, and what I actually had to show well, he's not a retiree right now, he's just a discharged service member, but if I'm successful in my assistance to him, he'll be a retiree. What I had to show a service member earlier was come into eBenefits and go up to Manage and click on Documents and Records. So that's what he did, and he sees this extra set of options, access your documents and records, and there's all kinds of neat stuff here. In fact, what I may do in a future episode is explore eBenefits a little deeper, but for right now, we're just going to do this one thing with personnel records. So now I know that there is another way to do this, but most of us are going to go in this way. You can skip the eBenefits side of this, but since I want you to have a DS logon and to be able to access the eBenefits, that is why I'm showing you this way of doing it. When I click military personnel file over here on the right hand side, it's actually taking me to MilConnect, which is a completely separate website. So you can go directly to MilConnect. You don't have to go through eBenefits at all. But I want you to be able to access both. That is why I showed you eBenefits in the first place. So it's not like I'm old-fashioned and only know this one hard, fast technique. No, I know that you can go straight to MilConnect and do it this other way, but I want you to be able to use eBenefits as well. So just be aware of that from the start. Alright, so we're on the MilConnect site. We've got this cute picture of a father and his son. Alright, but we're not going to worry about all the stuff here. Just go straight to the menu right at the top. Correspondence / documentation. And we see with the drop-down menu, Defense Personnel Records Information, or DPRIS. Click that. And I'm going to have to do a little bit of editing so that you can't see my SSN, because that's going to pop up on the screen here in a moment once I start the request for a personnel record. For some reason, they splash it all over the screen with no regard for personnel privacy, and I hate that. All right, so here we have Defense Personnel Records Information Retrieval System. Now, I've already requested my records once, so you'll actually see on the screen here, download your official military personnel file. That will not be visible the first time you come to this site. You'll just see request your OMPF. And that's where you'll go this first time. So request OMPF, or you can skip that and just click on the Personnel File tab up at the top. And when you do that, you'll click the next option. Now, again, ignore the fact that you see that I've already requested this one time. We're going to assume I haven't done that. So you click Request My Personnel File. And now you see at the top, and of course I scrolled down very quickly so there'd be limited visual access to my SSN, and what I'll probably do is just cut out that section of video and move on from there. Alright, so what you see here is a section, a document index with all of the various documents within your file cut up into various groups, various categories. You can request either specific categories of documents, or you can choose just DD-214s or derogatory items, personnel history, or you can say select all for a particular group. And what I did, of course, was select all. And that is how I prefer it. I like having everything. Now you want to choose under OMPF system up here at the top, your branch of service. Otherwise it doesn't know where to look. And then above that, be sure to put a good email address for yourself. I'm not going to scroll up because that's SSN. You don't need to see that. And then just click create and send request. And it showed it went right up to the top again. Alright, and then from there, the request is complete. And I'm going to try it one more time just to see what happens. And, here we go. You have selected all the available document options. Select yes to continue if you need all documents. Otherwise, select no and only request the documents you need. I'm going to say yes once again. And it says there's an error because I did not put an email address. And so I'm going to correct that and put the address in there. And I'll hit create and send one more time. And say yes one more time. Processing request. So, despite my little foul up there, you can see it is rather easy. And of course the foul up you see, even when there is a mistake, it's easy to fix. Alright, so it says that the request is complete, status is processing, and we don't have to wait to see what the status of all this is, because we can just go straight to what the result of the request is. You'll end up with an email just like this one here, which says, please do not respond to this email. Your request has been processed and the completed PDF is now available. It will give you a link directly to MilConnect. And you can come here, log in, and see the completed request, and click on, you'll actually have to go through correspondence and documents and DPRS again, all those steps to get to this stage. But once you are here, you can click View Files, wait as always, wait for loading. There's not always the wait for loading, isn't there? And when that finally comes up, alright, you can see here a list of all the documents in the personnel record, and you can choose to either download an individual file within the record, or if you want to wait a long darn time, you can come up to the top and click download all files, and it will do exactly that. It will compress everything in your record into one PDF, one Adobe PDF document, and open it up on your computer. In my case, it was over 500 pages of documents, and for some people it might be more, for some it might be less. So it just depends on your length of service and how much stuff was put in your record while you were in service. So be aware of that. You might have to wait a while. I actually waited for a good 10-15 minutes wondering if anything was happening at all. So just be patient with it. And then after 2 or 3 days, since I've done this once before, after 2 or 3 days, that completed request is going to drop off. So this is not going to be there indefinitely. So if you want to have permanent access to your records, then be sure to hit download all files and download the whole thing to your computer. If you want each file individually, then you might be here all day long downloading each one individually and naming them individually, or whatever other technique whatever other technique you want to use. But if you want the whole record, then the fastest way would just be select download all files and go that route. But at least for those of us who are out of service, you have this option now to get your records. You don't have to do standard form 180 anymore and send it off to St. Louis like we've all been taught to do, being told that's the only way. Pardon me. At least for those of us who left service recently, we now have this faster, more technologically based route to get our records in a day or two. And I got my response the next day. The service member I mentioned earlier got his response in about half an hour. So it really depends on probably the amount of information in your record, I would say. So it really seems to be variable. In his case, there were about 70 pages of documents in his record. So my guess, and this is just a guess, it's probably based on the volume of information in your record. So, and he was only in the service for about 10 years. So it's probably exactly that. So there was not much in his record from the start, and he didn't have many documents there. So anyway, so that, as you see, is a good resource for you. And like I said, one day I'll probably go through the eBenefits site on a deeper level so you can see what other options there are there, not just using it as an indirect route to get to MilConnect. All right. So I hope this is a beneficial tool, a beneficial video for you. And for those of you listening on podcast, I hope you can come back and view the video, because it certainly has a lot of visual aid benefit to it that you're not necessarily going to get just listening in audio form. But anyway, I hope this was a useful tool for you today. If you know anyone else that could benefit from it, then please share this video. Of course, give it a thumbs up if you liked this content today. For those of you who have not already done so, come right over here and click the RC Retirement logo and subscribe to this channel. And naturally, since this is my profession now, be sure to not just subscribe, but go over to the Shop on Amazon link on rcretirement.com and do your Amazon shopping that way. Or click on the Join Patreon campaign on rcretirement.com and support me in that manner. Both of these things make it easier to pay the bills around here, pay for the hosting, pay for a lot of the other stuff that I need to do, pardon me, in order to keep doing what I do here. And of course, I'm also a qualified retirement services officer. You can go to rcretirement.com, click the Fees for Services tab, and if you need personal assistance from me, I am available to do that. You can see exactly what it would cost you there, and drop me an email at dj@rcretirement.com, and we can work out a good time to chat about your needs and exactly what it would take to fix your problem. And lastly, on the shameless plug side of the house, I also have a couple of affiliate banners on the site. If any of those pique your interest, then of course give those a click and see what any of those strike your interest. And I'm sure those companies would like to have your business as well. And naturally, I'll get a small piece of that for sending you their way. All right, so that's all for the shameless plug today. As always, I thank you for giving me your time and for spending your time with me, for being part of this audience. Thank you especially to the new members of the audience, the new subscribers who came along today. And I do hope that all of you will continue to spend your time with me. I have a goal this year. I would like to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and I would like your assistance to do that. So if you would so kindly spread the word about this channel. There are people who could benefit from this information, so let's keep plugging away and spreading the word so that the right information can get into the right heads and everyone can make informed decisions about the benefits they're earning. All right, guys, that's all I've got for today. I'll have another episode out for you soon. Thanks for joining me, and as always, thank you for your service. I'll see you soon.